The member for Gippsland.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, and I ask, why has the government deserted Gippsland farmers and removed the exceptional circumstances support, despite the local community reporting some of the worst drought conditions in over 100 years?
The Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Gippsland for his question. The member for Gippsland points to one of the significant problems that we do have with the current methods for exceptional circumstances drought policy, and that is that we're obliged to— well, it was your policy too, so don't get too excited— that we're obliged to have a system. We're obliged to have a system where you have to have lines on a map where the National Rural Advisory Committee, NRAC, makes a decision based on an entire area. Now, for the entire area that they were making the assessment for, a good part of which falls into the seat of the member for Gippsland, they made an assessment that the period of recovery had begun. Now, there is no doubt when you draw those generalisations across entire regions, you find some areas where people actually are not in recovery at all. This happened with respect to the Burke-Berowra area, and the local member got involved there. We made sure that the New South Wales government put in a fresh request for revised boundaries, and NRAC conducted an immediate assessment, and under those revised boundaries a fresh EC declaration was made within the space of about 48 hours. We had a similar situation in two different areas in Queensland, and I would encourage the member for Gippsland to follow the same process.
Minister will resume his seat. The member for Gippsland on a point of order.
On a point of order, Speaker. The minister is giving an interesting background to drought conditions around Australia, but the question specifically refers to Gippsland and whether the minister will do anything about it.
Member will resume his seat. The minister is responding to the question. The minister. Order. Order. The member for Lyons.
I know it might be appealing, Mr Speaker, for a member of the National Party to ask me to abandon all process. I know that might be appealing for a member of the National Party. But what I would encourage the member for the National Party to do is what some of his colleagues have done, and one even met with me today on this issue, and that is to ask what is the process we should follow to make sure that the recommendations come in from the state government on the revised boundaries. We'll make sure that the National Rural Advisory Committee, every member of whom was actually an appointee from the previous government, deals with the issue immediately, and that we have proper process to make sure that farmers are not left out in the lurch when they are continuing to face tough times. But what I will not show any sympathy for is someone who, unlike his colleagues, refuses to engage in the process, decides he'd rather get the headline and jump up and down here, and every day he delays in engaging with the process, he leaves the farmers in his electorate out cold. Yeah.